really following what is set in the status quo, what I've been domesticated into, and instead to embrace, and specifically in my chart, which kind of interesting, was about being visible via writing and teaching, about things that are subversive or edgy or raw, things that are more metaphysical, things that are more about intimacy and sensuality, and just about like unconventional living. So I was like, oh, fuck yes. Like when I heard this, like, that's what I'm up to. Like, that's what I want to be doing. And so I started writing. And I just started writing little snippets on this project I was doing at the time on Instagram, which is my favorite form of social media because I'm really visual. And I started sharing little blurbs of my story about queer femme invisibility, about open marriage, about all sorts of ways that I wanted to claim more for myself, and about radical truth telling. And it felt so scary and so vulnerable. And I started to get feedback from other women who could relate to that, and who had resonant stories, whether they were in the comments, but mostly in direct messages, because a lot of them were like, I'm so scared of burning down my whole life. Like when I read this, I'm like, gosh, I feel the same, but I don't want to burn it out of the ground, which I totally understood because I was sitting in that same fear place. And it just felt so validating for me to hear back from others that they were feeling this way, but also it felt so good to be just able to give a voice to something that I think a lot of us keep hidden and keep at bay to not rock the boat, you know?
Right.
I think like to have that mirrored outside is it can be really healing. So I kept writing it and doing it in a really messy way because I couldn't, it was a mess, you know, like I didn't have it all mapped out. It wasn't like linear and, you know, organized and masculine energy. It was just more like
here's
round
what's here
and feminine.
today.
Yeah, exactly. So that was I guess the birthplace of that work. And some of these people were saying, you should make this a book. And I was like, gosh, I've always wanted to write a book my whole life. Even when I was little, I was like, I want to be an author and an artist. And I also wanted to be a SEAL trainer in SeaWorld, but
nice.
that one's
not going to come to pass.
No, not at all interested in that anymore. But yeah, I just was like, okay, I'm going to start like trying to create this into a book. And over the last year, I've written a book that has yet to be published. I'm still learning a lot about the world of publishing and seeking a publisher. But in the meantime, I want to be sharing this with others. So I decided to create an online program called Midlife Emergence as well, that will take people through a journey of their own midlife emergence. And to answer, I guess, what that means to me, you had asked like midlife. I mean, for me, I'm defining it astrologically because my own experience really felt like 42 was the screaming midpoint for me, but I did start to feel it, you know, a little before 40, and I'm still feeling it. And I don't even know how old I am. I'll be 46 this year. Like, how old am I?
Solstice baby.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, on the winter solstice, I'll be 46. And I love the word emergence because it really changes up the social norm of calling it like a midlife crisis. Like a crisis is an emergency. And